Who's ready for some hot takes? Little lads, everybody. Hello, buddy, TK here, and welcome to the core review for Legacy Wave 1. We will be reviewing all three of the core class videos, of the core class figures from Wave 1 in this video. So, let's get started. Let's go ahead and start. I want to start with. Let's start with, Iguanis is kind of the most, interesting of them, so let's save him a little bit. Let's start off with Skywarp, because he's my least favorite. I honestly wasn't even going to get Skywarp, but I was at Target the other day. I had already, I'd come back, I'm making Transformer videos again, and I was like, well, I could grab Skywarp, and then I would have the full combined sword to show off in the review, and I could review all three of them in one, so why not? It's only $10, why not? I can always sell him off if I don't want to keep him, and yeah, that might end up being what happens with him, because I just think he's a lot. I just think he's basically just Starscream, but bad. Like, he has worse tolerances than Starscream. Like, Starscream's legs were perfect. This guy's legs are wobbly as fuck, and they also have a weird thing where they don't really want to sit, they don't want to sit right. You can see his legs are constantly bowing in, and if you, move him out, it likes to really easily just likes to pop back into place, or maybe that was just for a little bit. I don't know. Maybe that seems to have stopped, I guess. It was like that when I first got him out of the packaging, though. And I know the elephant in the room, he doesn't come with fucking null rays. What the hell, Hasbro? How could you include a Seeker with no null rays? Now, people have been theorizing that they were going to throw the null rays in with Thundercracker when they eventually do Thundercracker as an incentive to get Thundercracker. And hey, I mean, I guess if they do that, fine, I guess. But man, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with the no null rays. Now, I will go ahead and say that we do, now of course the accessory we do get with it is we get the tuning fork, and yeah, this sucks. However, I will go ahead and say that the combined sword is pretty cool, I think. I actually think the combined sword is pretty cool, but yeah, that's what you get with Skywarp. It's really bad. It's really bad. I think it looks a little bit better if you plug it on like this and use it like a fucking taser or something like that. I mean, if you want to. How about we take one of these little, weird, blue fire lightning effects from Hot Rod here, and see how this looks on this. There you go. So it could be like a taser if you wanted it to be, which actually doesn't look too bad, honestly. That doesn't look too bad. If you put a little Hot Rod blast effect in there, that actually doesn't look horrible, I won't lie. So maybe that's an upgrade, although for a ton of people, and myself included, we're going to be using this piece for the combined sword, and we're going to be giving it to either our Iguanas or our Hot Rod. I'm sure most people will give it to their Iguanas. But yeah, that's your accessory. I don't like it, but at least it definitely does. The combined sword is really cool, but we'll talk about that later on. And aside from that, guys, I really don't have anything else to really say about Skywarp. We'll do all the comparisons together once I've talked about all three of the figures, but there's just nothing to really say about him. It's the same as Starscream. If you have Starscream, you know exactly what to expect. It's Starscream in Skywarp colors. I think there might be less paint on him, actually. I don't know, let's see here. No, probably about the same amount. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's about the same amount of paint. So, but like I said, look at the tolerance difference right here. Like Starscream, absolutely nothing whatsoever, but Skywarp, yeah, he's got a little bit of wobbly legs. I suppose this isn't that big a deal. I shouldn't be making that much of a big thing out of just a little bit of looseness. I mean, it's not loose to the point of being awful, but I don't know, still worse than Starscream, definitely, and he doesn't come with his null rays, which I really do think is kind of unforgivable. So, yeah, that's Skywarp. I don't think we need to waste any more time on him. I mean, if you want to, I guess you can plug the weapon on the back of him, so you can do that if you want to, but like I said, we're all going to be using it for the combined sword. We're going to give it to Iguanas or Hot Rod. Speaking of that, how about we go ahead and jump into Hot Rod, who is my personal favorite of these core classes. I know that's a very unpopular opinion, but I honestly really like Hot Rod. I do know that people are not a fan of him, but I personally am. I think he's super cool. He comes with the sword piece of the actual combined sword, so he gets pretty much the best accessory by far of the three, which look pretty cool. And a lot of people have been saying the tolerances on this guy are bad, and granted, the knees are a little bit looser than I would like them to be, definitely, but aside from that, you've got really good joint tolerances up here at the arms. The arms feel really good. The head feels really good. A lot of people saying, oh, why is his head hollow? Why does it make a fucking difference if his head is hollow? You can't even see it back there. It's completely covered up by the kibble. Now, yes, you can take this piece off and you can plug it onto the back, but this is the stupidest and most superfluous thing ever. You can make it a parts former to make it look like that, and then it doesn't tab into the back. Do not do this, okay? There is one other advantage to this, and that is that you can use this now, and you can plug the sword on here, but I'll show you in a second here. If you leave it in the standard position, you can store the combined sword on the back. So there is no point whatsoever in doing this. But yes, you can store the sword back there, but just when you get this guy, just like, I honestly might even just super glue this on there, because it's so stupid that this is even a option that you can take this off, and then you can do that, because you have a little tab back there and a slot right there that locks in there, that holds it in place, and it does a good job. It holds it in place. So don't do that parts forming thing. That's really stupid, a really superfluous and unneeded little feature, if you wouldn't even call it a feature, of this guy. You can also thank some ankle pivot, which I will say, I wish there was a locking point for this piece right here. There's no locking point. Definitely would have preferred if there was like a little, like, tiny little tab or a peg right there that would hold that in place, but hey, it's not that big a deal. I mean, we've got all these. You know, it's a core class. It's a $10 figure. You think you guys might be asking a little bit too much, because I really do think this guy is really good. And I really like his transformation, and I really like his alt mode. So yeah, he is my personal favorite of the wave. I think he is a lot of fun. And I mean, honestly, I know he's Hot Rod, but he actually makes more sense as Rodimus Prime, I think, because he's got the sword, and he's like the same height as... He's like the same height as Optimus, so I think he works better as Rodimus Prime. So I would probably recommend calling him Rodimus instead of Hot Rod. Although if you want him to be Hot Rod, he can be Hot Rod. So yeah, there you go. I really do like him, honestly. I really, really do like Hot Rod. I think he's a lot of fun, and like I said, he is my personal favorite of the core classes. But now let's get into the final one. Iguanas. Now, I'll be real with you. When I first got this guy, I didn't like him at all. I really did not like him at all. I have no attachment to the Pretenders. That was way before my time. I don't know anything about the Pretenders. I've never owned a single one of them in my life. This is the first time I've ever had something even remotely connected to the Pretenders. And I really did not like it when I first got him out of packaging, because I will say, out of packaging, his tolerances were atrocious. They were so wobbly. However, I actually decided to give this guy a fix. So I popped his ball joints off. I rubbed some super glue on the ball joint, let it thicken it up, then I put the ball joint on and kept moving it around so it didn't solidify, and this worked like an absolute dream, because now he has buttery smooth tolerances that are really, really good. So if you get him out of the packaging and your tolerances are bad on the legs, do that. Just take some super glue, pop the leg off the ball joint, rub some super glue on the ball joint, let it thicken, let it harden, and then plug it back on. It might be a bit difficult to plug it back on, but once you plug it back on, it's gonna feel a million times better. So yeah, there you have him. I will say things I do like about him. Like, if you get in here on him, he's like a fucking, he's kind of cool looking, right? He's got like an iguana head, and he's got this really cool jetpack, which I really do like the way that looks, and I like the way that this piece transforms. I really like his like knuckle gloves right here. I found this guy is really fun. It's really fun to put this guy in like a boxing pose. Like, I think this is actually like my genuine favorite way of posing this guy and displaying him as like a boxer like that, so he can be like that. I mean, if you give him a little bit more of a, there you go, you kind of give him a bit more of a, pose it in the legs there you go. Put him up. I really do like the way that looks. This is probably how I would display him if he did not look so good with the combined sword. I actually think that this guy is the rightful holder of the combined sword, which we will talk about in just a second, because all Iguanas comes with is this thing. This is the worst accessory of them all. At least the Skywarp one, you can put a blast effect in it, and it looks somewhat decent, honestly. This, I mean, I suppose if you wanted to, we could try... that doesn't look terrible, I suppose, but I mean, without a blast effect, this is what he's got. That's his weapon, and like... what even is this? I don't like it at all is what it is. But if you want to, you can store it on the back. You actually have multiple places you can store it on the back. You can plug it in to this port right here, or you can plug it into these ports on the side of the jetpack. But I think this is made more for the sword to be stored, but you can plug it back there as well. But I will show real quick after we do the sword combination. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all there is to talk about. He's got good paint, you know, you got bronze on the knees right there. Overall, a solid core class. I definitely do like this guy more than I did when I got him. After I fixed the tolerances, learned how to do the transformation a bit better, because it used to be, this backpack also used to kind of be a problem. It wouldn't tab in, but here's the deal. So like when you transform it, if you just bring it up and you just like try and tab it in like that, it doesn't work. It doesn't want to tab in. But what you got to do is you have to grab it, you have to grab the wheels, and you have to push them in to the tabs. And if you do that, they actually lock in place. It feels really, really good if you do that. So if you have that issue, that's how you fix it. Now let's talk about the combined sword. So what you do is once you get all three of the core classes, you want to take the tuning fork and you want to take this piece and you want to plug these pieces together. You want to have these little red bits facing down. You want to plug them together like this. So you have these handles like that. Then you want to grab Hot Rod's sword and you want to plug that in to the top. And this gives you the combined sword. And you can give this to any three of your core classes, or you can give it to any of your existing core classes as well. So you can either give it to Hot Rod right there, which I do think is pretty darn cool right there. And if you want to, you can also store it on the back of Hot Rod thanks to this port on the back. So there you go. You don't need to do the parts forming piece for that. You can store it on the back just like that, which is super, super cool. So you can either give it to Hot Rod or you can give it to Iguanas. You can give it to Skywarp as well, but he doesn't deserve it. So you can give it to Iguanas. And personally, I do think I'm going to be leaving this with Iguanas. I definitely think he should be the holder of this because I do think this is kind of cool, man. I really do. He can totally be like, I have the power of the combined sword. Yes, very, very cool. And if you want to store it, you can either use this piece right here on the, you can either use this 5mm port right here to store, which I think looks a little bit ridiculous. Like you can kind of see a little bit too much poking up. I definitely think you're supposed to store the sword by this piece right here, and I think that looks a little bit better. So you can plug the sword onto that, and I think that personally looks really, really, really cool. So there you go. There you have the combined sword. I honestly do think that this is really cool, and it's pretty much the only reason you should buy Skywarp. If you want to make the combined sword, you can get Skywarp, sell Skywarp off, hopefully get most of your money back. Be like you only paid like $3 for this thing or something like that. I don't know. It's a little awkward because my camera just cut out because I ran out of space. So I don't know what I was at last time. I think we were just talking about the combined sword and the integration of it with the other figures. So I mean, if you want to, you can give it to Skywarp as well. Also, though, I mean, if you want to, you can give it to your other. You can also give it to your other core classes as well. So you can give it to Optimus Prime right there. So if you want to give it to Optimus Prime, you totally can. Or if you wanted to, where's Vertebrae? Here you go. It does have, so it has the core class peg, and then it also has a bigger peg. So if you want to give it to someone with a 5mm peg instead of a little one, I think that's called a 3mm peg, you can do that as well. So you can give Vertebrae two swords. And I'm gonna be honest with you, this actually looks kind of cool as well. He might be another candidate for the wielder of this mighty weapon. So there you go. But I really do think that for me, and I think for a lot of people, you're probably gonna stick this with your Iguanas, because I definitely think he's probably the rightful wielder of this weapon. And I mean, if you want to, you can have a lot of fun with this, man. You can like plug it in underneath him like that and give him like some dope ass, I don't know, like nightstands right there. Like he's got to place it in the ground. He's gonna mess you up. He's a fucking lizard with a jetpack and a huge ass sword, and he's gonna mess up your day. So yeah, there you have it. I think that's pretty much everything to go over with the core classes themselves with Iguanas, Hot Rod, and Skywarp. Let's jump into the comparisons. And for comparison, here they are with each other. Here's Hot Rod compared with Bumblebee and Optimus Prime right there. Hoping to see some more core classes. We have Sludge and Slug are coming next year, but I don't know, how about a Wheeljack core class? That could be cool. Ironhide could also be cool. RC core class, that would be awesome. Here he also is with a little countdown. Just cuz. And for Skywarp, of course, here he is with the Starscream right there, like one of these things is not like the other, one of these things is missing its very crucial weapon, but hey, that's what it is. And we'll also bring in the core class Megatron and the core class Soundwave, and, oh, come on, man, stand up, man, there we go. And also the core class Shockwave right here as well. So there you have our Decepticon core classes so far. We do have a G1 Shockwave coming in Legacy Wave 2, which I'm super, super excited to get. Looks absolutely awesome. I think this one will probably be a better figure, honestly, but I do like the fact we're getting a G1 one to go with these guys in a more traditional format. So we'll get him out of there, and we'll just bring in these guys a little bit more so you can get the good group shot of all of our Studio Series Decepticons so far. Very cool. I definitely do think that Skywarp does make a good addition to this little team, so maybe I will hold on to him. Here he also is with his full-size Voyager counterpart. And I forgot to do Hot Rod with his counterpart, so there you have him with Studio Series Hot Rod and the Kingdom Commander class Rodimus Prime. And for Iguanas, here he is with Vertebrae, who I think these guys could be kind of a team. I think that'd be kind of fun to have them as like a team. And then here he is with the Bowie movie Shockwave. These are kind of our outlier core classes right here. Shockwave wouldn't have been, but we are getting a G1 Shockwave, so he'll be up there with the G1 Decepticons, and then you'll have this one, and you'll just be like, well, I don't know where to put this guy either, so these are kind of our oddball core classes right now. Although all three of these figures are kind of great. And Ravage does not count as a core class. This is a fucking accessory. And here's Countdown again. And here's these two guys, because they're a lot of fun to get as well. So, yeah, I don't know. There you go. There's just some comparisons right there. I'll give you one deluxe comparison with this guy as well. Just a random deluxe here he is with Studio Series. Wheeljack review coming soon. Classes are all actually pretty much the same size, so if you have any core class, you pretty much know what size these guys are going to be at. They're basically like the exact same size. So yeah, let's jump into the transformation. Alrighty, for transformation, we're going to start off with Iguanas. So come out here, open this piece up, and then tap it in right there, and then bring that piece down like that. Bring the wheels down, but first you want to rotate the waist around. Go ahead and rotate these leg pieces down here, and then rotate the feet around just like that. So rotate, rotate, rotate. A lot of rotating. Bring the wheels down on these ball joints right here. Bring that down, bring that down. Bring the arms in, and they will just kind of fold in, and then tab in place just like that. Rotate the arm around, and then tab his fist, the bottom of his fist, into this piece right here in the wheel just like that. And then do the same thing on the other side. So bring that in, rotate that like that, kind of push that into that tab, and then lock that in place just like that. Then come down here to this piece, bring these down. That tabs into a little slot right there in the tail. So tab that in, and do the same thing on the other side here, tab that in right there, and then fold the in on the ankle pivots and tab them into place on either side of the wheel. There you have Iguanis' alt mode, which really does not like to stand up on its own. Done. Now for Hot Rod, first up, you're going to want to untab the backpack from the back just like this. Then you want to take the arms, fold them up on these little joints, which is a little bit tight, but still, that's a very good thing right there, so it feels nice and secure. Do that, and then you want to come back here. We want to open these little tabs up right here, bring that down, unfold these big old hood pieces right here, just like that, and then you want to bring this back. You want to get that tab right there underneath this slot right there, really, really easy, really satisfying. Do that on this side, come down here, and then you want to tab that piece together just like that. Oops, that might fall off, but once again, a little dab of super glue will fix that right up, and honestly, I will probably end up doing that. And then you want to do that, fold that piece down, and then get it nice and snug just like that. And there you have Hot Rod. And finally, for Skywarp, it's the exact same transformation as Starscream. Take these, fold them to the back, assuming that you didn't already have them. Fold it back like this to allow him to stand up a lot easier. So I personally would recommend doing that. I just think it's a lot easier to make him stand up just like that. Then you want to take the wings here. You want to rotate these forearms just like that. And then he has a little slot in the wing right there that those pieces are just going to tab into just like that. Tab his legs together. Open him up in the torso just like Starscream. Fold the nose cone forward. Fold the legs forward just like that. And then you want to rotate the wing assembly around just like that. I'm sorry if you didn't see that. So you come down here and then you just rotate the wing assembly down just like that. And then you want to make sure that these pieces stay tabbed in. These stay tabbed in on Starscream. They just don't stay tabbed in on freaking Skywarp. So yet another thing that Starscream does better. And then you want to flip these pieces up, get this piece tabbed into right there, get that nose cone tabbed in right there, and then take the head, rotate it around, and then push it into the nose cone just like that, and then come down here, fold these pieces in, and they will tab in place into two little slots in the legs, and just make sure it all gets nice and snug like a bug in a rug. Flip these pieces out, and there we have Skywarp's transformation, and there we have all Legacy Wave 1 core classes transformed in their beautiful alt modes. So there you go. Transformations are all solid. Like I said, I really don't understand why people are hating on this transformation for Hot Rod. I think it's a lot of fun. So, Skywarp, that goes without saying. Starscream has, like, the best transformation of all the core classes. I think I would actually go ahead and say I think Starscream has the best of the transformations in the core class lineup. I definitely do. Honestly, man, if Skywarp just came with the null rays, he would have been a perfectly solid core class. He really would be. So, I don't know. Like I said, maybe they're going to include him with Thundercracker. So, I don't know. Maybe I will hold on to him when Thundercracker comes out. We'll see, but I don't know. And then Iguanas. I honestly do not like this transformation, in my opinion. It's just barely even a transformation. The only thing that's fun about the transformation is pulling up the backpack and then covering the head. That's like it. Everything else is just folding his legs back and tucking them in so that they don't look as obvious, but they're still like right there. I like the vehicle mode though. I don't know why, but I do actually kind of like the vehicle mode. It's kind of cool. It's kind of big, honestly. Like compared to a lot of other, like, do I have anybody to compare this with? Just for a brief comparison, here's Hoist, and yeah, it's a big, I mean, for a core class, it's big. Like, compare that with Hot Rod. Hot Rod's a very small boy compared to Iguanas. So, yeah, I mean, like, just showing you there. Yeah, Iguanas is definitely a big boy. I think he might actually have the biggest vehicle mode of all the core classes. One more, actually. I have this guy over here as well. The combiner Micromasters, the best Micromaster set by far, except for maybe those Decepticon ones. Those ones are pretty cool. But yeah, they have that as well. So yeah, he's a big boy. He really is a big boy. I'll show you some more comparisons when we get into the comparisons in a second here. But as for weapon mode storage, good God, this review is so... There you go. Here's your weapon mode storage. That one goes up there. That one goes in there, and that one goes up there. If you want to do the combined sword in any of these, like, I mean, I think the one that, like I said, like 90% of people are gonna be giving the combined sword to Iguanas. So let's see if there's a good way of storing the combined sword in Iguanas's mode right there. You got to make sure you do it right and don't give it the wrong. There we go. So let's see here. You plug that in right there. That's pretty much the best you're going to get it. That really is pretty much the best you're going to get it. So yeah, these are not bad core classes. I'll go ahead and move into the final thoughts now. These are not bad core classes. Actually, no, I got to give comparisons first. Here's some comparisons. First off, there they are with each other. Here is Hot Rod compared with Optimus and Bumblebee right there, so we can see how the core class Autobots are coming along, and they are coming along quite nicely if I do say so myself. Here's Skywarp compared with Starscream. You can see the exact same size, exact same figure, just worse because it doesn't have the null rays. And here he is with the other core class Decepticons as well. So there you have that. We have our Megatron, our Soundwave, and our Skywarp, and we do have Shockwave coming, which is very exciting. And also throw in Iguanis right there. There you go. So there you have some more comparisons right there. And here's Iguanis with a few other core classes as well, so you can see how he scales. He's actually a pretty big boy. I mean, compared to the biggest core class, which is Starscream, he is actually a pretty big boy. He takes up a good chunk of real estate right there. He's actually around the same size as like a smaller deluxe, which admittedly is pretty awesome, although he does have a very hard time standing up. Although, of course, once again, you look bad on camera now. So final thoughts on these guys, they're not bad core classes. I especially like Hot Rod. Hot Rod's my favorite of the three. I think he's actually probably the only one that's 100% worth picking up. Really fun robot mode, really fun transmission, really fun alt mode. This guy is good in my opinion. I think he is a very good one. Skywarp is going to be the only one I really think is probably a dud unless they give us the null rays with Thundercracker. But honestly, I think you'd be much better off waiting for a sale for Skywarp just to get the combined sword piece. If you really like it, if you love Skywarp, if you happen to be someone with a big Skywarp shrine behind you like a certain other person, yeah, I mean it's a $10 Skywarp, so you won't be like absolutely pissed about it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's $10. Oh, there we go. It's $10, and the Starscream mold is good. So if you skipped out on the Starscream mold, then there you go. But the Starscream mold is better, definitely. It's got better tolerances and it's got better accessories. Iguanas is another one I would recommend picking up. I do like Iguanas. I didn't love him immediately. Once you get those tolerances fixed up, he's a lot better. But yeah, I would say if you're going to get any figures from this, I would say get Hot Rod and Iguanas. I definitely think these two are the winners of the wave in terms of the core class. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to be getting very many core classes coming later because we got the reveal of the wave 2 core classes, and we've got 2 repacks, one of which is a repaint, and then we've got Shockwave, who albeit does look very good, but we do already have a really good Shockwave core class, so I don't really feel the need to get it. I will get it, don't get me wrong, I will get it. I'm sure it'll be a great figure, but I just didn't think I really needed it because I really liked the Bumblebee movie. I really liked the Bumblebee core class Shockwave, so I don't know, I just feel like maybe we didn't get enough time with that one to appreciate that one. But yeah, core classes are fun. I really do like them. They're $10. They're a lot of fun. They're little tiny pocket toys. They really are a lot of fun. They're fun to use with your Titan class as well, like the Arc and Omega Supreme. Definitely a lot of fun to use with them. But at the end of the day, they're little $10 figures, and I think all 3 of them are definitely going to be a lot of fun for you. Skywarp is the only one I would tell you to be a little bit cautious of before you go and immediately pick it up. So there you have it. That is going to be my review of all 3 of the core classes of Legacy Wave 1. There we have it. We're one step closer to finishing up the Legacy Wave 1 reviews. I will go ahead and tell you what the next review is because why not? I believe the next review is probably going to be Prime RC. So I believe that, or I actually might do Blaster first. I don't know. I think we might do Blaster first and then we'll do Prime RC. So yeah. They have that. I'm saving Laser Optimus Prime for last because best for last. So, just going to say that. But there you have it, everybody. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, maybe give it a like, subscribe for more Transformer content in the future. And with that being said, this is Guillotine, signing out.